Thanks,
there you go,
mate.
sir, for you. Well, we got a little piccolo.
How about more budget? I don't know.
You don't know?
Yeah.
Okay, wow. I make coffee. Wee. Oh, you can stand there with your hands and hips all day?
Yep.
Yeah, right, thought so. That lovely iron shirt too, I can see today. It's looking great. Do you know what? I just happened to catch you on the day, didn't I?
I swear this is the first day.
Oh, it's the first day that I saw you.
I didn't lid roll it either. What am I doing? I'll go this side.
What's this one?
Ice long black with 1 honey.
Oh, 1 honey.
Yeah.
1H. 1H. I got your honey. There you go. Let's put the honey into here. Whoop. Okay. Just cracking in this little grinder over here. You got your pick. And you got your honey with your iced. Yeah. Boop. Cool that one down. There's your iced. And what have you got on this one here?
That one is a cappuccino
For Rory. Got him. Alright, I'm going to grab a long spoon rather than a short teaspoon. Then you can get in and you can stir your honey in, you see?
Wow.
See? How good is that? And you're going to need the extra shots.
You too.
See you, mate. Bye. Melted honey.
Delicious.
There you go. Ready to rock and roll. That one there works well. All right, I've got one more for Rory. Double res little cap, yeah?
Brandon says
Nice.
he's watching from South Africa.
Hello, hello. Brandon, was it?
Brandon.
Hey, Brandon, how you going? Just getting ready, dialing in this morning. Got the lovely Chloe,
Hi.
who gets to play with a new little coffee grinder over here, which is interesting. I just sort of dialed in this morning, had a bit of a play with it yesterday, and we'll talk about that a bit more, which is the Fiorenzato F83 E Pro Sense. So, big name, but different things that are going on there, so we'll talk about that in a sec. Hey, if you've got any questions, just chuck them down the bottom. We want to answer them. Test this. Give me something crazy and I'll see what I can come up with as an answer. If not, I'll tell you I won't know it. But pop it down below. Ryan's behind the camera. You got a mic? No.
I got a mic.
You got a mic?
Got a mic.
You can read them out. Love this time hanging out with you guys every Wednesday morning, 8 o'clock. Yeah, just talking all things coffee. And I forgot what the topic was actually today. We didn't really have a topic. We just pulled the grinder out, didn't we?
We were going to talk about grinder technology, weren't we? Or not?
Grinder technology.
That is actually going to be in this week's video or next week's video.
Well, there you go.
Actually, was it that? Or that was cleaning.
We're going to go cleaning. Yeah. But anyway, this has come on our bench, and I think it's really good to jump into it. So, if you're familiar with us and our content, you would have seen that we've been using Anthem SP2s for quite some time, which is the rig and setup we have over here. So you've got your titanium 75mm burrs. Now they last 2.5 tonne. And that's what's really good for us. They're a big burr, titanium coated, and the grind flavour profile is really nice. You've got your anti-clump crushing through here as well. And then, look, to grind into a handle, we all know that time-based grinders are variable. So we use a dosing pot and a scale, and that's been a big one for us for many years. You'll see that across all of our content. And we're still using this in a lot of our cafe partners, but there's been a huge change in able to having a weight-based module connected to the front of a grinder. And we've been playing with a few different products over the time. There's the Malkoning E64 or E80s. You've got the Mazza range as well, in conicals and flat burrs in their weight-based grinders. And look, there's always different models and brands, but essentially we've been looking at the Fiorenzato here. We were fortunate enough to go through the factory last October, I think it was, in Milan. So it was really cool to see that they make everything from scratch here, including the burrs. So there's a couple of different ranges that they have, but essentially you can now get your group handle, knock it out, place it on, and it's going to auto tear, recognise the handle, and give you the dose. And you can see this is part way through, and you can see it's measuring it as it goes along here. We've got it set for 22 grams. It goes green light when you're good, and you get your 22 grams of fluffy, light grind. So there's a lot of tech that's happening now to make weight-based grinders work best. You can't have clumping grinds, because if it's clumping and it falls in, it's really hard for the grinder to know that weight. So the lighter, the fluffier that it is, or the less clumpy it is, the better that you're going to get the accuracy on that dose. So yeah, cool dose, it's dialed in. It is at 0.5 less than what we have in our Anthem SP2. We do find that a lot of these weight-based grinders, because they are so fluffy, it's hard to fit the dose in there. So you can push the limits, go a little bit finer, but essentially you're still going to get that underdosed end extraction. Now, I'm using the handles from the ABR La Marzocco, which is that little symbol there. So that means that that handle weighs the same as this handle over here, so that you can utilize that in the La Marzocco weight system. But also that's really handy when you've got a weight-based grinder like this, which auto-recognises the portafilter handle. It doesn't matter which one you put in, it's still going to give you the same dose that you've set up. If you did have a handle which was a little bit different, Fiorenzato do provide a little ring that you can put on, so they could be totally separate in different weights, and you could allocate a different dosing weight to that handle as well. So that's kind of cool. I'm going to have a little long black for myself on this coffee. And just see what it's like. This is our main blend. It's the same beans that we're running in the Anthem over here. And I want to just see what the flavour profile's like. Yeah, I do a double. I love a bit of strength in that one. So this is brand new grinder, set up this morning. I can show you how many doses it's actually done. There you go. Beautiful crema, really rich and dark. I missed the time when it started, maybe it was about 7 seconds. This is set up for 45 grams, and I think we're running at about 32 seconds at the moment. So it's at 25 seconds, starting to fill up the cup pretty good there. There you go, 32 seconds, 44.2. So that's the ABR, that's the scale working on there. So just over a 2 to 1. And again, as I show you in all of our extractions, when you see that paleness coming through, that is over extraction. So at 22, 44 should have been over extracting, and that's pretty much true to it. You can see that really sweet flavour at the start of the extraction. We floated that on top of the long black as well. Now I'm just going to just give that a little stir. I actually want to taste a bit of the balance of this whole cup. So I'm just getting that flavour there and just bringing it in to the whole cup. It's not often that I serve the espressos, but I really want to, just taste the whole balanced cup today. Okay, that's really clean. Yeah, it's definitely well balanced. Balance is the key. You can have a coffee that's super sweet or super acidic, or just strong in one flavour, but that does balance it right out, stirring that all in together. That's tasty.
Hey, can we answer a couple of questions?
Let's answer some questions, go for it.
All right, what's your thoughts, Slayer versus La Marzocco for a first-time cafe owner?
Yeah, that's a good call. The Slayer's super technical. You can have, if you get the Slayer steam, you've got a different type of steam mechanism there. A couple of baristas, struggled with that a little bit with the longer arm. It does take a little bit of time to turn off. And the dry steam was a bit different, if that's the model you're looking at. But you can change pressures and temperatures and so on as well. I think they're a company that's got a lot of tech, but probably just needs a bit more time to be better, personally, in terms of reliability, durability, and knowledge on how to work on those machines. We use La Marzocco on our commercial Artisti accounts, so for for me, that would be a natural yes to La Marzocco. Mainly because of durability, length of time. Everyone knows what's going on with the machines, and they just seem to be a really good workhorse. Yeah, so I've had a chance to play on the Slayers. I think their design's quite nice. It's pretty. It's got some pretty cool, you know, edgy sort of looks and feels to it. But I think if you're just starting out I think the question for me is make sure you've got someone that can support the Slayer machine specifically. If you don't, go La Marzocco straight away, because you've got to make sure that there's someone there to fix them and support them.
Right, cool.
Yeah.
Next question, I'm going to ask this question to Chloe.
Chloe, come on.
Because Chloe actually works down in here.
Yeah.
Chloe, what's your most popular selling drink?
Probably flat whites. You always get flat whites.
Flat whites?
Yeah.
Flat whites.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Cool.
milk based.
Milk
Milk
base.
base.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
There you go.
Thanks, Chloe.
Australia's got a huge milk industry, for sure.
Kevin says, thanks for all the amazing advice you give in your videos.
No worries, my pleasure.
He also says that he's starting a coffee trailer business and wondered what your advice would be on generators. Would you go petrol, diesel, or LPG, or running a dual fuel setup instead of a generator? Thanks.
It sounds like are you in a mobile vehicle?
It says coffee trailer.
Trailer,
so I'm guessing
trailer.
it's mobile.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A couple of things, oddly, like if you've got a car that's towing that's diesel, and then you can put a diesel generator, that certainly works a lot easier rather than having multiple different fuels. If you've, like gas, to me, I've never really had a great gas experience, you know, with gas coffee machines and so on. Great for hot cooking devices and things. So I wouldn't do that to make the coffee machine work. If your generator is diesel, yeah, they tend to be a bit bigger. And if you're embedding that in, they seem to, like the Cummins diesel ones, seems to be quite a good option. But the general one that we use here is a Honda. It's the 9 kVA EU70 I, yeah, EU70I, which is 9 kVA, I think it is, isn't it?
7,000 watt
inverter, yeah, 7,000. Anyway, that's the one that a lot of people use here in Australia. The thing I say about a generator is even though if you pick whatever model is, go and see what the hiring places, like here in Australia, they're called Coates and what's the other one? Kennards. They're the big companies that hire generators to, like the road workers and all of those places. And the reason is when your generator dies and you're there at 6 o'clock in the morning and you don't have a generator and you need to go and get one, and you can just go down the road and hire one for a day and grab the same generator and it does exactly the same thing. That's the best case scenario. You're going to have your generator serviced, and at least you can utilise that product to have that same system for you. Some guys that work flat out in generators all the time have 2 of them, so that they can intertwine them and have them serviced, because if you're going to be running them 8-9 hours a day, they're certainly going to have high hours on them and you're going to have to get them serviced regularly. So that's my kind of thoughts around generators. Don't cheap out, don't get a Chinese thing. They're loud, they're noisy, and they only get louder as the bearings and pistons start to wear out.
Yep, cool.
Cool.
Brandon has a question about making cappuccinos, and he's asking if, can I ask how to make a cappuccino if you have a large machine or don't have a large machine? I'm not sure what he's saying here, but I don't think it matters the size of the machine, whether it's big or small. You can make a cappuccino on basically anything.
Yeah.
So.
That's just an interesting question. So last night I was trying to finish the day and I had a little bit of time just waiting to pick up my son. I jumped in my emails and there were 4 people that wanted me to get back to them around coffee machines. And so if you do have a question and want to buy one in Australia, we ship all over Australia and we're happy to have that advice. But people get confused around this point about, does a machine help you make a bigger drink or a smaller drink or more drinks or less drinks? It's not really about that. It's more about the technology the machine has, the boiler size, whether it's a single boiler, a HX, or a double boiler, that allows you the flexibility to make more steam or less steam or adjust the temperature for extractions. So you don't need a bigger machine to make a bigger coffee. The only constraint that you'd have is just, if you show here, in some machines they have a smaller height between the group handle spouts here and the drip tray. So if you had a big mug and it didn't fit under, like our 16s, all right, so that doesn't fit straight under, but we can get them in by tucking it in and around. But I can't actually do it this way because that connects the scale to the handle. So you might want to look at a bottomless portafilter like this. And then you get the extra height. So that's a big coffee issue with the machine. Yeah, so we have those, pop it under, we catch them, we can then split them and go from there. So hopefully that helps. But yeah, just a bigger, if you're doing a bigger amount of milk, so that's good for a small latte or flat white. But if you're trying to do a big mug, you get the bigger jug, and then it's about steam capacity, being able to actually make that milk swirl and get the vortex, which some people struggle with. So yeah, if you are going a bigger mug and a bigger milk, maybe look towards at least a 450ml boiler if it's a single boiler. If you're looking at a HX machine, you definitely want to be looking at about the 1.8 litre HX boiler, because that gives you 900ml of steam capacity, and that'll do everything you need, which is cool.
Cool. KKTPP says, I use Crew espresso cups to swirl versus a spoon. Have you tried them?
Oh yeah, sure. Yeah, we've got some here actually. The Crew guys sent us a fair bit of stuff. We just wanted the sieves, but they sent us all these glassware and things, and we just haven't got round to scheduling them. So you've seen them. They've got little double wall glass things with like a little ridge in them, I think, and if you swirl them, yeah, it's kind of a thing.
Cool.
Yeah.
Are there any other drinks like the Magic that aren't well known around the world yet? From Australia?
Not from.
Not that I can think of.
No, the flat white's gone everywhere. The Cortado Piccolo argument seems to be up there a fair bit, but that's about it. Yeah.
What's the difference between a latte and a cappuccino?
Okay, so technically a cappuccino should be a third espresso, third milk, third foam, and have a lot more foam in it, where your latte will have more like 2/3 of milk and then just a centimetre of foam on the top. So it will be a more mild drink, and usually they should have, now we serve them basically the same espresso shots. But typically you'd be wanting a latte to have a bigger glass than a cappuccino in size for size, so that it is a little bit more milky. So latte is referring to milk, with cappuccino we're normally looking for strength. So, but yeah, we kind of have different size glasses. So yeah, maybe a bit bigger on the latte glass, so you get more milk, but you only have about a centimetre of foam in there, with a nice pretty latte pattern, latte art. And then your cappuccino, we want to have about a centimetre and a half in the cup, but also a good dome on the top of it as well. So definitely more froth for sure. So a cappuccino should taste a little bit stronger. And technically, if you're going to make more foam and eat all of that foam, which is the sweet part of the milk that you've generated, technically the coffee will be a little bit thinner, because the water or the liquid left over is less thin, where your latte will try and combine that foam and be a bit creamier and richer. Okay,
Frank has asked, Eureka Minion Zero versus the DF54 grinder for single dose to pair with his DeLonghi La Specialista?
Yep, Specialita, yeah. Look, the DF54 has just been a huge grinder. It's amazingly price pointed, and has a lot of flexibility there for sure. There's lots of variations now. The newest one's just come out with the titanium burrs and the metal clump crusher, so that's the most recent version. So if you're looking at it, just make sure you're getting that. It's called a V3, usually referenced here in Australia. The Eureka Minions, we haven't really had a lot to do with them, other than in the service side of things. So yeah, it's more the other Eureka non-single doses that I've actually played with, which have the square hoppers on them. And the smaller burst sets, I think they're a 50ml burst set or something, so just a little bit smaller than the 54. Yeah, so I don't know, I'm a fan of the DFs, that they seem to work well. As long as you hot start them, they pump out the grind, the quality's good, flavour's good, and the price is good. So yeah, I can't compare a lot. I can just tell you how good the DF54 goes for us.
Cool. Michelle wants to know, what home machine do you recommend for beginners who want to start doing latte art?
Latte art, sure. Look, that's a budget constraint or an investment constraint that you might have. So if you can get away from, if we have a look over here, you know, you've got your appliance store style products like your Breville's and DeLonghi's and all-in-ones and things like that. If you can just get out of that realm into an Italian style machine, you're going to get a bit more flexibility and the quality to make a coffee that's better. That sounds a bit of a pain for you, is it?
Yeah.
Yep. How's that? That better?
Yep.
So right now, Lilit's probably got some amazing offers around their single boiler machines. So you've got the Anna, which doesn't have the grinder inbuilt, or you've got the Anita, which has it inbuilt. But essentially that's a 250 ml single boiler, and you can then adjust the temperature for that boiler and get some reasonable steam. It's okay. I wouldn't, if you're a mug person, I think it's probably a little underpowered for a big mug, but great for, yeah, it takes a little bit longer to steam the milk, and you can take a practice in getting that constant little hiss. So they're definitely a price point option. And if you're trying to do lots of latte art and do some really bigger volume pours, I probably would try and go up to the next size style machines, which would be something like the quick mill pop-ups. This is the Pipper, this is the pop-up. Basically this is a manual system for how it works. This has got a bit more digital to it with shot timers, flow control, so a bit more in the pop-up. And the difference between these two is this is a 250 ml boiler and this is a 450 ml boiler. So there is a lot more steam that comes out of the Pipper or the pop-up. So, you know, sub $2,000 here, we'll call it 2,000, 1,500. This is 1149 with a grinder. So still Italian made and some great components. If you're at that budget point, you know, they're not too bad.
I mean, you can quickly go from beginner to an intermediate, and you might find yourself a bit restrained or restricted if you've gone in at that real budget, low entry level type of machine.
Correct,
so
yeah.
You're better off, you know, go with something that you can actually grow into.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, the bigger boiler's great. You can change temperatures in this. You've got flow control for espresso extraction. So the pop-up has been a huge option for us, which has been great. They come in stainless steel, black timber and white and timber. If you're getting past $2,000 or 2,000 Australian, you're in the HX realm, which you're going to have plenty of steam, plenty of extractions, quality, bigger tanks, and they're amazing. If you're really, you know, you can make as many coffees as you like. They're a bit of a workhorse because they've got a 1.8 litre boiler, so they're definitely a stretch in price, hitting probably $2,900 and up from there pretty quick. Yeah.
Cool. Michelle also wants to know what makes a flat white a flat white.
What makes a flat white a flat white? Yeah, the easy answer is like no or minimal foam. It's, you know, we don't, for years they're like, I want a flat white with no foam. That's kind of like trying to make the instant coffee where it's just like a you know, liquidy top. There's no foam at all, no crema, no nothing. And I think a lot of people got confused there for a while. They were getting lattes, but essentially it's the minimal amount of foam. So when we're hissing, we just want to have maybe 2 seconds of hiss just to get a little bit of creaminess into that milk, so that when we do combine it with the crema, that it actually has a little bit of a nice texture and lifts up that sweetness as well. We don't want to be having no froth. And if you're the person who says, oh, I want no froth, just say, can I have a tiny bit? Because we're activating the sweetness of the milk, adding it to that crema, and it's going to be a much tastier cup.
Do you want to take us back and maybe run another grind through that Fiorenzato?
Yeah, for sure. So just if you started the video, we talked about the Fiorenzato. This is the F83 E Pro Sense. So it's got a weight-based grinder. I've set it up as a double extraction. This handle has been weighed into the grinder, and essentially you pop it on and it will automatically grind, and it tells you how far through the process is. It's showing you the weight that it's going to deliver. We're up to 22 grams and it's got there perfectly. So super fluffy, super light. Give it a bit of a distribute. Auto tamp.
Actually, do you want to do another latte, mate?
You want another latte? I'll do another latte. All right, so pop that on. Again, this is weight and weight. So we've got weight-based extractions, we've got weight-based dosing.
Let's have a look at that.
You can see up here 4, 5 seconds, 6 seconds, 7 seconds, which is about right. And now we're starting to measure the weight that's coming through on that extraction. Wait.
We're tangled up there.
Tangled up.
Tangled up in the tripod.
And
Sorry guys.
that's it was an earthquake. So 21, there you go. So we've got 22 grams of coffee. That's given us 21 delivered. So nearly that perfect 1-for-1 ratio. We could just change that a fraction because we're trying to run a different weight because they're actually set for the all ground, which is 22.5 grams.
Danielle says, good morning, I'd love a double shot latte.
Coming up right now. Yeah, if you're passing, come in and have a coffee. We do get a lot of people that come through and enjoy a coffee. All in the holiday periods, summer for sure. So tilt as much as you can, get the espresso right down. We don't want to pour down the glass, we want to pour in the middle of the espresso. So start high and then come in a bit heavier than you think. Go around the cup once, twice, come back to the middle. Start your wiggle. And then you can pull through. And there is your latte. Now, I'm very aware that I can't see when I'm pouring that because I need these. That's the best I can do when I'm getting blind. Oh, mate. Hey? I was like, I'm going to pour this, but I can't really see. You do want to have your milk not settle too long, so it does settle in the cup. You can see it settling. I don't know if you can see that. It's kind of settling like a Guinness. Yeah, that's the cool part. So that means that the foam is all in here, is blended with the coffee.
So that's your 10 ml of foam, right?
10 ml foam. There's your latte.
5 ml for a flatty?
Yeah.
15 for a cap?
Yeah,
Is that the
about general rules, yeah, 15 for a capish. But the bigger the cup you go, the deeper and more foam that you need in that cap for sure. You don't want to keep that amount of milk in a bigger cup because then you end up with a flat white in a cup basically. All right, let's make a couple of quick shots here on the all ground. So, sorry, on the E83. I've got the all ground sense, or this home version basically. So it is nice and quick. Okay, 22. 22. Because I've got the pre-matched handles here from the La Marzocco, it's recognising the same handles very easily. Don't have to worry about weight because I know it's doing the job for me. So we've got a split shot, large 16 ounce here, so that's going to get a single split in the cap. And then we've got a small cap which will get a double ristretto in an 8 ounce. So he's just doing the double milks. Boom. That's the first shot. Set that aside. Hopefully get another one quickly. You've got your flush. Clean out your handle. Get that to grind off. Oh, I pulled it out just a little bit early. You got 5 seconds to put it back on if you need to, which is really cool. And I can show you that. So when it doesn't deliver the full dose, it comes up with a little bit of a timer, which runs for 5 seconds. That is pouring a really rich, beautiful extraction. I'll just show you that feature here, which is pretty cool. So the handle has been weighed in. I've set 22.5 grams just by pressing this button, plus and minus for the double dose, really easy, or your single doses there. If you want any data around how well it's doing, it's day 42, week 57 of the year, total dose is 57, and then that's your plus and minuses. Essentially over, there you go. So the range there between 22 to 21 grams, how variable it actually is what it's dosing. So it's only just going under by a fraction on a couple of doses. Last two, spot on. So there you go. So you can bring that out to weeks, months, whatever you like, the whole range of data. So we do find it's 0.1 of a gram variance. But the feature I was just talking about, again, these can be turned on or turned off, which is really, really cool about it. If I start to dose now and it gets part of the way through, I pull it off. We've got 4 seconds, 3, till you put it back on, so I can do a bit of a distribute or level or whatever I want, and pop back on, and it will finish. Doesn't matter, it's pretty durable, really, really cool, super stable, and you still get your 22.5 grams. So that is what is impressive about this grinder. Straight out of the box, haven't had to change any settings. A couple of the other weight-based grinders, if we've done that on the bench, it just fails and has a problem. So I've yet to experience, again, this only went on the bench this morning in the 83, but we had the 64 and we're doing a lot more shots and we've never seen it fail essentially in its maths. So from that side, pretty durable and stable. And so you got a double in this one. Yep.
Someone just pointed out that Chloe just bought a swan in a takeaway cup.
She did.
Amazing.
She's going to do another one in this unique cup.
Got a question there, Luke.
Is that needed in there?
Yeah.
Oh, it's caramel syrup.
Sorry, mate.
Yep.
Does the espresso go flat if you wait for a second shot to pull before steaming the milk?
Oh, the crema is going to settle. Do you want 3 shots in that?
Yes, please.
Yep. So we can show you. That's pretty easy to show you right now. So we've got this first extraction. If you watch it down here, it's just stopped now. Oh, here we go. I'll bring it over. Bring it here out the way for you. That's the first one. You'll see it starting to settle. It'll never go totally flat. If it is, you've got a real issue with your coffee if that's the case. Okay, so it'll get thicker and it'll be a bit harder to pour through if you're going to be doing some latte art. So if you sit it too long, that will be an issue. But that crema is going to hold for ages. If your crema is dissipating, there's 2 things that can happen. You're not getting enough crema because your extraction isn't correct. But the other is that it can be too fresh and really gassy, and that can then dissipate very quickly as well. But that's holding up really, really well in the time we've got our next extraction, which is 31 seconds. If you've got your syrups and so on, pop them into your extraction, ideally.
You can have another swan here, Chloe.
You can attempt.
The BYO cups are interesting because they're all different shaped cups,
Yeah.
and it does get a bit tricky, but you've got this. Oh, okay. So you've got to come down here and pause, make a heart between the body, push it out, then come up to the neck and stop again.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Luke will demonstrate
I'll show
the
you.
next one.
I'll show you. Let's do it. Okay,
Cool. We had another couple of questions there. Let me just go back.
let's go back and do it.
Someone commented with the latte, I prefer it served in a ceramic mug rather than a glass.
Yeah, that's not really a latte. A latte is typically always in a glass, but you can do it. That's fine. Our mugs of lattes are in a mug because once you get too big in glass, it's actually pretty hard to hold. They get a bit clunky and large, and we don't want glass for the handle. Okay, so I'll just show you this. Ready? So there's a couple of points where you want to stop and make a blob. You want to get the body and the head. Okay, so all right. So we're going to get our angle. We're going to create our canvas. Okay, you're going to do your wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Come up, cut down the side. You're going to stop, make a body, then come up, do a neck, stop, lift up, pull through.
I don't do that bit.
Yeah, you need the body. That's the body on the actual lake. That's the lake. That's the body.
Is that a lake?
Yeah, it's the lake. It's the shimmering of water. That's what a lot of people don't realise. So, that makes sense?
Yeah.
You get it now? So that's your lake. That's the body. That's your fan, or your feathers coming off the back. So if you don't join your feathers to the body, there's nothing going on. Then you draw your neck, then you stop, do a heart, and pull through the head.
Okay.
So it's a Rosetta base.
Yeah.
Then a Rosetta half pull down the side to make the fan.
Yeah.
Then a heart base without actually, it's more like a tulip, like you just put the base of a tulip, pull up, do your neck, and then do a heart finish. Oui, oui. Cool, look at that. And I'm not even the best at this.
I didn't really know what a swan was like, to be honest. So.
All right, let's do another shot, and I'll just show you. There's a couple of different versions of swans, again.
Danielle said that I'm impressed that you can do that on camera.
And blind, so I'm going to do it now with glasses on, and we'll do another one. This is there's a double wing version of a swan as well. So you know when they land and their wings are out both ways? Let's give that a go.
Trent says he's a big fan of your work and he loves you guys.
Oh, thanks Trent, appreciate it. Hey, if you're in Australia, or even just put this in your calendar, the 25th to the, what was it, nice, Melbourne Coffee, the 25th to like the 29th.
March, yeah. Melbourne
Last
International
Thursday,
Coffee Expo.
Friday, Saturday of March. Yeah, we'll be down in Melbourne. We're doing some things with Lumberzocco on the Friday, so we'll do probably a live on the stand there. We'll be serving coffee. Thursday, we'll be doing some stuff with Elite on their stand. So yeah, put that in your calendar. We'll do some different lives and a few different things.
Alley, too. We'll have our own little espresso bar set up there, serving like coffee. So if you want to come and try a coffee, jump in there.
Yeah, come on down. Friday morning, that is.
Yeah.
Something like, I don't know, 10 till 1-ish or something like that, the morning slot. So, oh, okay, you've got differences here. I'm going to just...
Danielle says, I've got glasses myself. I've just got glasses myself. It's not easy getting used to wearing them.
Yeah, it gets harder when you realise how blind you actually are. If you can prep your milk a little bit of double jugging does help you get really nice and glossy. All right, so let's go again. So pour that, get yourself a nice canvas. Okay, so, all right, the first wing, second wing, the body, come up and finish your neck. Well, yeah, that one I was nervous about.
Your turn, Chloe.
All right, see that?
Chloe's turn.
So that's adding an extra rosetta in.
So you went down.
So do the rosetta base. I came up and did the rosetta and pulled through the side, then did another rosetta this side and then pulled down. Then I made a tulip base, come up in between to the neck, and then a heart.
Okay.
Just start more forward than I did. I was way too far back in the cup.
Okay.
All right, there you go.
Cool.
Your turn.
You should do it. Just go back to this one and do it with the body.
Yeah.
Yeah, go with that one first. Go on. You got this.
Stravy says, what's your standard roast and ratio recipe when dialing in?
Yeah, so our standard roast for most cafes is the Champion blend. We use a 22.5 gram dose, a 1-to-1 ratio for takeaways or ristrettos, which is your 22.5 gram dose in your actual cup or weight in your cup. 2-to-1 for what we call a normal or you might call a double shot, but that's as far as we want to go on our extraction. So that's 45 grams in a cup. These here technically are a 45 gram split, so you've got 22.5 grams in each of these small cups.
Is your house roast a medium intensity?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's the darker roast we have is the fix, which we go to about 26% development, where the Champion is about 22% development of our past first crack.
Let's have it, Chloe.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Hey,
Nice work, hey?
nice. That's
John,
heaps good.
Turn that around. Show everyone. Beautiful.
Beautiful. Well done.
That's really nice.
Cool.
Cool. Yeah.
So if you do a little bit less on the base,
Yeah.
and just real deliberate wide ones, you're trying to get those bigger, wider sections. And then just if you you can do an upright one. If you started to push this a little bit this way, that's how you can then get the second one if you wanted it.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Yeah. So a little off-centered rosetta, just a little bit. You can push it like, yeah, I kind of did it like wide and big ones if you want big loops. But yeah, it's cool.
Yeah.
Not
I never
bad.
knew how to do the double one.
Yeah, awesome.
Another coffee trailer question for you, Luke.
Yeah, for sure.
For a mobile coffee trailer doing 200 cups a day, would you recommend the Lumberzocco Linear Mini?
No. No way. It's designed to do about 8 shots rapidly, really quick, and then you're going to lose stability in the front brew head, and then you're going to lose a bit of steam pressure. 200 coffees in a trailer is a lot. You'd need a 2-group machine with a much bigger boiler to be able to refresh that group head, and then refresh the steam boiler as well. You're going to run out of capacity really quick.
What machine would you put in a coffee trailer? If you were opening a coffee trailer, what would you do?
A Lumberzocco, like a classic commercial machine, or if you can get a PB, that'd be great as well. They just need 20 amps of power, but if you can get that in there, you will absolutely pump.
What if you didn't have 20 amps of power?
Didn't have 20 amps of power, that's really tricky. So you could depower a Lumberzocco if you really wanted to, but then you're going to lose capacity and have challenges there. So you still get the flavour profile of the machine. We kind of go back towards the rocket boxes at the moment because they are very similar to a La Marzocco Classic, which we kind of like. And then you can have them in different power supplies, but they're a HX machine, so they're not a dual boiler machine. But you do end up with a larger boiler, and then that gives you good steam capacity. The feel of it, it's quite a good steam one. It's very similar to the Classic, so we love that. But Jimmy's got the video there specifically about what ones he's talking about. He goes through the rocket boxes, the Sanremo Zoes, and the Expo bars.
I think he talks about the Expo bar because that you can run that off gas. Is that right?
Oh no, that's
No,
the
that's
Frappuccino machine.
Oh,
Yeah, you can run it off gas.
It was the Expo bar though.
Yep.
Sorry.
Expo Bar is a product that comes out of Australia, and they actually do. Oh, sorry, no, it comes out of Spain, I think, but there's distributed in Australia. The reason we do use a lot of the Expo Bar is that people then say, "Oh, I want 10 amp," and 10 amp gives you a different. That's a normal power point here in Australia. You can get a compact 2-group 10 amp machine through Expo Bar, or you can put a bigger element in it and have it a 15 amp. So in a compact size, there's only 540 mil wide. So we do use that a lot because space is a consideration for people. But there's trade-offs on quality on that as well. But at least you've got a steamer, a hot water tap, and 2 handles, and you can do some good volume out of those. So they're a pretty popular machine, very reasonably priced as well, around the $5,000 mark, not going up to 20 odd for a La Marzocco.
Luke,
Yes.
where are we based?
We are based in Coffs Harbour, which is halfway between Brisbane and Sydney on the east coast of Australia. Beautiful place. We have a thing called the Big Banana, so look it up. You'll see that we were a big banana growing area, but that has changed over the times. We're known for producing a lot of blueberries, actually. But hinterland behind us, beautiful seas, an amazing place to go camping, fishing, and chill out with beaches and so on. So really good lifestyle. But it is, yeah, 6 hours north of Sydney, about 5 south of Brizzy. So yeah, if you're driving through, come and see us.
Paradise, really.
It's beautiful. Yeah.
Danielle says, I love the cups, but I do enjoy a coffee in a lovely blue cup.
Okay.
She says that you guys are nailing it with the latte art. I can only get a heart to work.
Hearts,
keep
yeah.
going, Danielle. You'll get there. Keep practicing.
The heart's still the base of everything. Yeah. So you just got to learn to pour a heart and then just wiggle, get lines before you do your heart. And then if you're getting the wiggling, then you just stop. It pushes those lines out. Then you're creating that center part of the heart, lift up and pull through. If you can focus on those 3 elements, you can do anything, because then you can wiggle, you can then pop a heart, base wherever you need it, and pull through. So that's really what Chloe's doing. She's just doing those three techniques. Hey, I want to show you something that just come back to the F83. What makes it so cool? If you're a person that has any any issues with a grinder, I'm just going to take 2 doses out of here. I'll close the hopper here. So if it was jammed up or blocked, or you had any sort of issue, if you run out of beans, it'll keep trying to grind as well. So that's always handy. I just want to, what I'm going to do, I'm going to put that in a dosing pot for a sec. No point wasting that coffee. So I'll just get 1 more there. It's actually going to be more than 1, but that's okay.
Beans should be sitting low enough in there now, you think?
Yeah, so I basically closed the hopper. It's got quite a high top to it. But here he is here. So this is trying to grind by weights, not time. So if I just then, added 1 or 2 little beans in, it'll just keep going. It will time out at some stage, but essentially you can pop new bags in, and that's how that works, which is kind of cool. If you take it off, that's a finished dose because it timed out basically with no beans. But what I want to show you is just how easy you can get access to cleaning this machine. You can undo the full chute and clean it out if you've got a blockage there. Really simple. To get to your burst set, obviously you've got your closed bean hopper there. It's secured, it's locked in by a little screw on the side here. Flick these 2 levers and there you go. You take off your hopper and your burrs together and you can clean out your grinder. And here is your anti-clumping device. Pull it out, give it a clean. That gets it nice and fluffy and reduces the static. So super easy to work with. There's your 83 mil dark tea burrs in there, 4.5 tonne. So huge volume on a set of burrs, and it has a full counter which shows you how much it's ground over time.
How long would that take you to get to the burrs on any other grinder?
Absolutely a long time, because usually what happens is this top burr set is a thread to the body, and you have to unthread it all the way and then clean it all out, and then you've got to thread it back in, and then you've got to redial back in, because you don't know how many turns you've actually hit. You've got to bottom out the grinder and then come back basically a quarter turn, and then you've got to try and dial in, where this maintains the grind setting that we've had, which is the distance between the top burr and the bottom burr. So super cool. So I can basically right now just grab another dose, open up the bean hopper. Right, beans are falling in. It's going to give us 22.5 grams. Again, if I stop it, it'll remember, and then go back and grind again. Okay.
There you go. Let's go a medium cappuccino. Thanks.
Sugar?
No.
$6, thank you.
There you go. Pull the party grinder, put it back together, and got a flat or a cap?
Cap.
Okay, what's that from?
Oh.
Hey guys, I just got to show you something on the screen here. Look at this, Chloe.
Woo!
Michelle says hats off to the swan.
Hey.
And thanks so much. Thanks so much, Michelle. It's amazing.
That's very cool. So there you go. 33-second shot. Pulled the grinder apart, put it back, cleaned it. No wastage, straight back into service. Super, super cool. So technology is really changing the game here. If you're looking at a home grinder, the Fiorenzato have the all-ground sense. That's really what started everything. It's the grinder I use at home, and it has this easy access to technology as well. So just really cool stuff. Really love that we're getting manufacturers changing some things in the industry and really thinking about it for the better. So highly recommend looking at those grinders.
Danielle had a question for you.
Yeah.
Would you recommend renting a Lamazocco as opposed to purchasing something cheaper?
Look, rental's a conversation that you kind of need to understand around your finances and the business model. If you've got $20,000 sitting in a bank ready to go, I'm going to just pop that out for that customer. Sometimes you are better to rent it, because you can use that $20,000 to do marketing and, you know, support yourself for X amount of time. So that's a big conversation in terms of cost, where you might be able to put a machine in for $5,000 and not be $15,000 worse off. The quality of that machine, the recognition that's going to bring when someone turns up to your trailer is definitely going to be known for sure. Definitely that's something in Australia. People see a Lamazocco and they're like, okay, there's quality. And people forget that. You know, we want to go to a place that we feel comfortable with the barista, looks nice, looks quality, and when we're paying, you know, here in Australia, we're trying to hit $7 for a cup. People want to think that they're getting a good quality product. So that's part of your marketing. So I think there is a lot of value to, yeah, perhaps renting a machine or leasing a machine, and saving some of that money to, you know, get some better marketing or giving some sort of promotion away. I think you'll get yourself quicker to, you know, 10, 15 kilos, 20 kilos a week, whatever you need to, if you're actually putting some budget towards some marketing and operational side of things, rather than just all the equipment. Too many people focus on just the machine and the grinder and the look of a trailer, rather than actually thinking about, hey, how do I actually launch my business? How do I do some marketing or some flyers or whatever? So if it frees up a bit of capital, yeah, lease it for sure.
Danielle also says crema is king and consistency is key.
Yeah, you got to have crema. If you don't have it, you're under extracting coffee because it's passing through way too quick and you're not getting all that rich flavours in for sure. Yeah, there's heaps of coffee trailer videos out there. So What do you got there? Oh
There's
yeah,
some here, mate. What's this?
this is cracking a lacking. Hey, if you missed Christmas fruitcake, well, that's why I've got hot cross buns. So Ben, our head roaster, has been sourcing a couple of beautiful coffees here. This is our Easter blend. It's available all through our online store, international store, and in Australia. It's got 3 different beans in it, which is great. There's 2 from the same origin, but provide different profiles as well. And I'm trying to remember those exactly. I think it's 2 Colombians.
You've got 2 Guats.
2 Guats, sorry.
And 1
Yep.
Colombian.
And 1
So
Colombian.
La Danta, El Puente, and Las Moras.
And Las Moras. There you go. So it's
Same with my Spanish accent.
Las Moras. Again, I need the glasses, but yeah, you got a natural, a wash, and a natural. So there's a natural and a washed Guatemalans in there. Again, they give totally different coffee profiles and flavour to it. And then you've got the natural Colombian, the Las Moras as well. So milk chocolate, toffee, and stewed raisins, super, super tasty. Make sure you don't miss out. It is only available until Easter. But yeah, online store, the international store, US, UK, New Zealand, all that. Jump on and grab a bag. It's been going like hot cross buns. Not hot cakes, as we used to say in Australia.
Good dad joke, mate.
It is. But yeah, super cool. People are coming in and grabbing that because they tried the Christmas fruitcake and they just knew that they needed to have it, and it doesn't disappoint. Some really beautiful coffees in there.
Mr. Rainbow Loves Coffee says, hello, coffee family.
Hello, Mr. Rainbow Loves Coffee. Good to have you back joining us again. Appreciate you dialing in each Wednesday.
Yeah, what's everyone up to? Tell us what you're doing and
Yeah.
what coffee you're drinking this morning. And if you've got any coffee questions,
Yeah, do you need a coffee, Rory?
jump in and drop a comment.
Love a coffee cappuccino in a cup? Double Riz latte. Oh wow, that's a popular one today.
It is.
Let's trick him a little bit. This is the grind from the grinder over there before, and just see if he can taste anything different. We won't tell him what it is, and just see if he says it's better, worse, crisper, cleaner. Could be a lot of different things. The main difference between these 2 grinders, this is a 75mm burr set, and we've got an 83mm burr set. So it definitely has a different speed and profile of the actual blade. What am I going to pour? I'm going to give him a tulip, I reckon, or I know, a floating rosetta sort of kind of thing. It's how I learnt to go from rosettas to swans. I'll show you this little pattern. It's a little bit easier, it takes a bit of pressure off you when you want to try and put more components into your pour.
Okay, so
Hello, how are you?
Oh, good, how are you?
Great, thanks.
Come around the other side here.
Yep. All right, so.
take away, sir.
All right. So we're going to pour in, create our canvas, do your rosetta start, go off the side, and then come across, finish with a heart, lift up, pull through. So you can do that if you just need to practice, but essentially a swan is just by going back down here, creating a base, coming back up, doing the neck, and then doing the heart. But that's just an easy way to really practice pushing that rosetta out sideways and coming across and pouring a heart separate. So there you go, that's what I like doing.
Mr. Rainbow Loves Coffee has a question for you.
Yep.
So how many times a month should I change the grind size for my coffee?
Every
I've
cup.
noticed sometimes it gets quicker or slower during the month. So
Yeah.
how often do we do it here?
Pretty much every shot. We're always monitoring it, making sure that it's right. If you've got warmer weather, colder weather, a new bag of beans, old bag of beans, the age changes. You constantly have to change your grind is the easy answer there, based on the outcome that you're getting in your cup, either by time. So you want to have that recipe locked in, and then the yield should be pretty standard for you, because you should be locking the volume of your flow from your machine into the recipe that you have, but the grind is how we'll adjust the time essentially for that. What is that one there?
It's an almond latte.
An almond latte. That's oat. Almonde. And what's the other one?
Medium cappuccino.
And a medium kappa. Easy. Whee. A little bit frothy there. Shake up your alternative milks. You reckon you can pour a swan with an almond?
Sure. Give it a crackle.
A crackle?
Crackle? Crackle?
Crackle dackle.
Danielle said she's actually worked for people that never change the grind.
I know, it was set in the ways for many years that the trainer for the roaster, could only touch the grind, and I just don't know why it wasn't educated. It's the key thing you should do. Anyway, we've all learnt from our, well, there you go. There's a swan. Yeah,
I went the wrong way.
you went the wrong way totally. What are you doing? You did like a swan's neck detached from the wings. But anyway, looks like
Broken neck.
it's been to the abattoir and lost its head.
You got nervous?
There's a swan port under there, but she put the head out by it. You lost the neck and the head. Oh, you lost me there totally. I had to stop. Sorry.
So, let's,
That's just chocolate. I'm couldn't concentrate.
It's gone.
It was very well blended. There we go, cappuccino. Have a wonderful day.
Danielle said it's a phoenix. Michelle said, we said hotcakes in the US too.
Yeah.
Are a variety of roasts used for espresso shots just like for regular coffee? Does the roast translate to the flavour similar to that of coffee?
Sorry, you're varying different roast profiles and beans for
Are a
espresso.
variety of roasts used for espresso shots just like for regular coffee? Yeah, well, I mean,
Yeah.
we can use different roasts for espresso shots, and we do. We've got our house blend, right?
Yeah, so house
And then-
blends, and then you've got a whole range of individual origins that are got their own unique flavour that we'd roast. So we have filter roasting. So we've got the Ladanta and the Los Flores here as filter roasts, and then we have espresso roasts in Ormina, or the organic, and in El Puente. So I think that one, El Puente and Ladanta, are in the Ladanta, El Puente, and Las Moras. So just two of those are in the hot cross buns there, but we roast them differently to get more sweetness or complexity of flavours, whether it be like florals or a unique blossom flavour or orange flavour. So we roast it to match the flavour of that bean. Then when you blend them together in like a blend, you're either looking for body or what that actual bean brings to that blend and highlighting it.
So in our main hopper there, we've got our champion blend, but if a customer comes in and they want to try the fix or delicate or something else, we can actually run it through our Master ZM over the back there, so they can enjoy a different coffee.
So in here we have all these range of pre-dosed pots. So there's your decaf, there's your hot cross buns, so they're all ready to go, and then you've got your singles, also fix and delicate, and then we individually do the Ladante Los Flores as we need it, just weigh it out. So yeah, and that all runs through the ZM, which isn't even on yet. But essentially there's different settings here. There's a batchy there, or for the Guatemalan, it's set in terms of grind particle size. And that's measuring the distance between the burst sets. So yeah, pretty cool and handy, that one.
Can you just change through some of those?
Yep, so decaf.
You can go to decaf,
Yep. You might want to go to the batchy, which is 600, which is a large grind.
You can
Hear the motor working, and yep. And it just likes to grind, so that's just changed all the way coarse. Yeah, so that's how that works. Pretty cool. That's a bit interesting. For some reason there's some grind in there. Question?
Bonji UK says, My Australia, Mount Rushmore, Steve Irwin, The Wiggles, Kylie Minogue and Artisti Coffee Roasters. You guys are fantastic ambassadors for your country. Enjoying the content. Greetings from Sweden. That's awesome. Thanks.
Oh, yeah, that's it. That's awesome. I wonder if we could be as big as those guys. That would be very interesting.
Mr. Rainbow Loves Coffee said, if you had an espresso, wouldn't you prefer in a porcelain cup, not a paper cup? Because I've been to Italy and it tastes terrific, but now they're doing paper cups for people in the tourist areas.
Yeah, takeaway cups. Takeaway coffee is a thing, right? So typically in Italy, it was all about the espresso at the counter or a milk coffee at the counter, and you have it at the bar and you just knock it back. It wasn't about the quick, fast-paced coffee. So maybe the cultures of Australia and America of that takeaway cup has really come into the Italian culture, which is a bit of a shame because it's a different experience, and I do enjoy that. When we go to Milan, you kind of have that coffee at the bench and a bit of fun and banter with the barista. But yeah, maybe that takeaway culture is creeping in. I've got this funny thing here. Sorry, I got to show you this now that you talked about those different places. So on the weekend, I went up to Dreamworld, which is a big theme park here, and I've got a 14-year-old and a 10-year-old, and they didn't want to get photos with the Wiggles or those characters that are out there. But here's me with Wags the dog and Dorothy the dinosaur. I was like, yeah, this is cool. There was B1 and B2 as well, and that little rat that goes with them, and they wouldn't let me get the photos. So anyway. Yeah, the rat with the big banana. The two B1, B2s. There's like a rat that goes and has cheese or something. Like he's got a hat and whatever. Yeah. Anyway, mouse. Let's call him a mouse. Yeah, it's a little bit
nicer.
Yeah, but I think he is a rat. I think they refer to him as a rat. He's a bit of a character.
Espresso shots in Portugal is like rocket fuel.
Oh, is it? Okay. So yeah. So you'll start to see weight-based grinders anyway coming in and invading our bar a little bit more. We're gonna run with this one. I'm pretty impressed with it. There's a full YouTube video coming out on that one as well very soon. All the features, dialing in, showing the menu, the whole lot.
Somebody just wanted a quick pan around over here.
Oh yeah.
Our equipment, so I'll just walk through. Give everyone a quick look. Grinders, accessories. I just wanted to see a bit of the background. Do you want to show in the the lab?
So our lab and Lamazocco home showroom. So you can come in and play on the Micras, the Picos, or the Minis. We've got some Lolits down here, the Bianca, which is a really high-end HX machine, fully featured with flow control. So that's definitely a cool one to look at. And then through here is where Ben does all of his coffee assessments. So, dialing in the batches or different blends that he might have, doing pour overs, tasting some new coffees as well from different farms and estates. So depending on what he wants to sort of work with, that's how we get our samples. And then change season to season. So this is his little lab.
I think Chloe's out the back, mate. You might have to get that phone.
Oh no, she's got it. There. She's got it. That's cool. She's on it.
See over here too.
Yeah. So. Yeah, the airscapes are probably cool to think about, how to store coffee and look after them. Definitely a great seller. I mean, sell heaps of those.
Plenty of our shirts and stuff online too, if anyone wants to get a shirt.
Yeah, bit of merch. Appreciate the support. They're on international stores or Australian stores, which is cool. You can only get the Lamazocco ones if you get a Lamazocco machine from us.
What was that shirt for? What did we do that? And who did the design?
Yeah, Jimmy did this pencil design of the two machines. That's pretty cool. So you've got your home machine and your Pico there. So that's pretty sweet. Yeah, can only get that through us, obviously, when you buy a Micra or a Mini or a Pico. Yeah, what else? Oh, what's going on? Anyway, if you've just joined us, hey, we've been talking about weight-based grinders. Go back and have a look at the start. But also we've got mice coming up end of this month, the 25th to the 29th or something like that. We're doing a lot of lives, but if you're coming in, come and say g'day at the show. Certainly appreciate hanging out with you and answer any questions you can. And you can taste our coffee. We'll have a moment with Lamazocco on the Roasters playground there, so yeah, pumped to do that.
Mr. Rainbow Loves Coffee said he worked at a coffee bar once, and as a joke for the kids, we used to say, "Oh, the customer wants a pour over." So we took confetti and poured it over the kids' heads. They all laughed.
Oh, that is cool. I haven't heard that. Customer wants a pour over. Yeah, that's cool. Very, very cool. Yeah, about it.
That's about it, mate. That's been an hour. So
awesome.
Just over an hour.
Oh, wow. Hey, thanks very much for joining us, everyone. Really appreciate you jumping on the lives. Love the questions. Love being able to support you in your coffee journey. Yeah, this week's video, what are you coming out this Thursday? What's coming out tomorrow afternoon?
Well, I've got two there. I'm not sure. I was going to chat to you about that. So
all right.
Could be either the new Latte Mara X Pagaya.
Oh, the Pagaya, yeah.
Or your Grinder Tech.
Grinder Tech.
Flame.
Okay, all right.
So chat about that.
Ooh, I don't think the Pagaya is out just yet. But
I think it
we'll,
is.
oh, it is out?
Oh, so I saw it on the Leeds page, so yeah.
Yeah, but not in Australia yet.
It's
So.
not out in Australia, but I
yeah.
think they've released it, yeah. So,
Okay, all right. Well, that'd be cool. That's some really cool stuff that we saw in Milan. Yeah, got to see that before it was released. So yeah, we'll get confirmation on that and
Yep.
go
And
from
then just want to say thanks again to Michelle for the tip. That's awesome. Very kind of you. And yeah, that's about it. Luke, there's no more questions there, so we'll wrap it
Awesome.
up.
Thanks very much everyone watching. We appreciate it. We'll catch you next Wednesday. Cheers.